I ain't never seen nothing like this before. Caitlin Clark is a menace, man. She literally kicked Cheryl Reeves off the team. This is my team. I don't fuck with you. Get out of here. Yo, son. Cheryl Reeves, you asked for it.
The WNBA has been thrown into utter turmoil after Caitlin Clark executed one of the most astonishing power moves the league has ever seen. During the live draft broadcast, Clark orchestrated a stunning trade that sent her designated all-star coach, Cheryl Reeve, packing, leaving league officials scrambling to contain the fallout. This bold maneuver not only highlights Clark's rapidly expanding influence, but also underscores her refusal to endure any further disrespect from coaches who have spent months downplaying her accomplishments.
Swapped coaches. Cheryl Reeve, dodged the bullet. Thank God I don't need to coach Caitlin Clark, man. Man, I can't deal with that. I would have had to swallow so much pride. I can't do that. Fee, she probably called him the Fee, talk to Caitlin, please. I can't coach her. I can't do it. This book's about to come out. You know what they're going to be saying if I'm coaching Caitlin Clark and the book's out? Oh, God. Fee, please. And then Sandy Bordello's like, oh, yeah, this is good.
In an era dominated by manufactured drama and fleeting social media outrage, genuine, unvarnished moments of truth are exceedingly rare. Yet on July 8th, during the 2025 WNBA All-Star Draft, broadcast live on ESPN with the entire basketball world tuned in, Caitlin Clark delivered precisely that. What began as a routine draft quickly transformed into a watershed moment, one destined to be remembered as the day Clark boldly declared she would no longer tolerate the league's toxic treatment of its brightest star.
This is the first time I've ever seen this, man. The first time out of all the times I've seen where two star players are picking up players. They ask for a trade, or the median person asks for a trade, and they're talking about trading.
It was a classic case of WNBA politics at work. With the Minnesota Lynx boasting the league's best record at 17-2, their coach, Cheryl Reeve, was automatically tapped to lead Team Clark in the All-Star game, while Sandy Bordello of the New York Liberty was slated to coach Team Collier. The league had everything neatly organized, adhering to its well-worn traditions. Coaches assigned, teams sorted. The blueprint was flawless, or so they thought. What the WNBA overlooked was a critical factor. They were dealing with Caitlin Clark, a player unwilling to bow to the league's outdated power dynamics.
Is Collier's head coach for the Minnesota Lynx, so that makes sense, but the drama is going to come from Reeve having previously been critical on social media about the amount of attention Clark received relative to the rest of the league, not to mention being the coach of Team USA that Caitlin Clark was so famous.
Clark, showcasing the sharp strategic mindset that has become her trademark, candidly shared her thoughts with ESPN host Malika Andrews. I'm not sure if this is technically within the rules, and honestly, I don't really care, Clark said with a composed certainty that left no doubt she was in control. We've already decided. We're trading coaches. Fee's taking her coach. Sandy Bordello, you're coming with us. Sorry, WNBA, if that's not allowed. Sorry, ESPN, if that's not how it works. We've just decided it is.
To be completely honest, I love my team. I think they're great. I don't have any intentions of really trading any of them. I don't know if this is in the rules. I don't really care. But I think we've already discussed we are going to trade coaches. Fee's going to take her coach, Sandy Bordello. Let's get it. It's going to be amazing. Sorry, WNBA, if that's not in the rule. Sorry, ESPN, if that's not in the rules, but we just made it a rule. So, Sandy Bordello, come on over. Whoa! Let's get to it. You can coach Sabrina.
The silence that followed was thunderous. It was as if you could hear the sharp intake of breath from WNBA executives who had just grasped a startling truth. Their golden goose wasn't about to meekly accept whatever leftovers they offered. For the first time in league history, a player had effectively traded a coach in the middle of an all-star draft, and there wasn't a single thing they could do to stop it.
Cheryl Reeves will be the coach for Caitlin Clark's All-Star team. Not feeling this at all. This is the same woman who despised her last year, saying, I don't give two shits about Caitlin Clark. The same woman who really didn't want her on the Olympic team. She was hell-bent about it. Very open about it. Same woman who wore Black Girls Rock while playing Caitlin Clark, insinuating that Caitlin Clark is a racist So she's going to be, pandering to the audience. Like, I hate that shit, man. I hate.
If you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe. Now, here's where the story takes a truly fascinating turn. And by fascinating, we mean downright illuminating when it comes to the power dynamics in the WNBA. This wasn't just about picking a coach she liked. This was Clark finally pushing back against Cheryl Reeve, the very coach who had spent months downplaying her achievements, questioning her influence on the league, and notably, playing a key role in leaving her off the Olympic roster. The tension between Clark and Reeve could serve as a textbook case in passive-aggressive rivalry. While Clark was setting arenas ablaze and smashing attendance records in her rookie year, Reeve was busy firing off veiled tweets, lamenting how much attention was being lavished on a single player.
Part of the official committee, but some may believe she had some say in how all that went down. Regardless, the picking between the players was a lot of fun, and Caitlin Clark also wound up with all of the Fever members on her squad as well, meaning Aaliyah Boston, Clark, and Kelsey Mitchell will be a trio in Indianapolis.
But it was the Olympic snub that laid Reeve's hostility toward Clark bare for all to see. As head coach of Team USA, Reeve held the power to champion Clark's spot on the Olympic roster. Instead, Clark was left off entirely. And when pressed about the decision, Reeve's responses were as icy as they were dismissive. Asked if she had any second thoughts about excluding Clark, her entire answer was a curt no. What makes this all the more maddening is that Clark's omission had nothing to do with her basketball abilities. This wasn't about skill. It was politics, plain and simple.
I just got official word from the WNBA, from the league. I am hearing that a trade of coaches is permitted and it is granted. I wish I had a gavel here. So the coach trade has gone through. As the steward of this draft, it has been approved. And these are your teams. This is going to be a whole lot of fun. Ladies, thank you so much.
Clark was the player who had taken women's basketball to unprecedented heights, packing arenas wherever she played. Yet the national team coach treated her like an inconvenience, not the generational talent she was. So when Clark had the chance to turn the tables and send Reeve packing, she didn't hesitate. This wasn't just about picking a coach. It was about demanding respect. Clark had finally had enough of being overlooked by someone who should have been celebrating her impact. The WNBA's reaction was predictable for a league that often struggles to handle success. Instead of applauding Clark's bold move as proof of her rising influence, they were caught off guard. The league scrambled to make it official, with ESPN's Malika Andrews later confirming that trading coaches was allowed and had been approved.
The trade coaches, they just traded Cheryl Reeves to get the Liberty coach. That is great. So we don't have to worry about Cheryl Reeves anymore. Cheryl Reeves can go to her team. I think Nafisa's team is too slow, bro. Yeah, Alyssa Thomas is good, but she's slow. Angel Reese isn't fast. Breonna Stewart isn't fast. I'm telling you, they're going to be more of a half-court type of team.
Think about it. The WNBA had to invent a rule on the spot because their biggest star refused to work with a coach she didn't want. This is the same league that's reaped the benefits of everything Clark brings: packed arenas, record TV ratings, and unprecedented attention. Yet they've done little to protect her. They've let players and coaches undermine her, ignored hard fouls that would earn suspensions elsewhere, and allowed the idea that she's somehow bad for the game to spread, even as she fills their pockets. When it came to the trade, Clark handled it with typical cool. No drama, no shots fired. She simply stated her choice and moved on. "Sandy Brondello, come on over. Let's get to it," she said, like trading coaches was the most natural thing in the world.
Coach, you may have been involved in the first ever coach trade of any All-Star game ever. Just want to get your thoughts on that in your mind. First for you, Leo.
They announced it? Yeah. That you got traded? Yeah. Oh, I gotta go look at all that. Traded? I have no idea what the teams are.
Second time in history now. Jeez, as a player. And I got traded, yes. My son hit me up after he goes, I've created history. This is awesome. I got traded as a coach. But look, I get to coach with Sabrina. I'm on Caitlin Clark's in Indianapolis. I mean, what a great show. So we'll go out there and have some fun.
Sandy Brondello couldn't hide her excitement. "I've got traded," she laughed. "My son texted me. I've made history. Now I get to coach Sabrina and Caitlin Clark in Indy. What an opportunity." Cheryl Reeve, meanwhile, had to watch as the player she'd spent months slighting publicly rejected her on live TV. The power dynamic flipped instantly. Reeve was left coaching the other team while Clark took center stage at home. It all underscores the WNBA's problem with star power. In any other league, a player like Clark would be protected, promoted, and celebrated. Instead, they let others tear her down, and seemed stunned when she finally stood up for herself.
Caitlin was in Minnesota last year. She had a little extra spice after one of the baskets, because Cheryl Reeve's a great coach, don't get me wrong, and she doesn't bite her tongue, which you noticed after the WNBA finals when she said it was stolen from the Lynx. There's no questioning her acumen, and certainly she'll speak her mind, but there's got to be something in the back of Caitlin's mind that still feels a little miffed, even if Reeve wasn't directly responsible for her not making the Olympic squad. Now, there was another attempt